So what is the Charles Schwab SWPPX Index Fund exactly? What's up, guys? And before you rush to click off this video because you don't care what the Charles Schwab SWPPX Index Fund is, I just want to say that I will be talking about the value of index fund investing over some other investing strategies. And if you stick around to the end of this video, then you might actually learn something new that you didn't know before. So even if you're not investing in Charles Schwab, but you just want to learn a little bit more about index funds in general, I think that this video will be a great tool for you to use as far as advancing on your investment journey. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. What's up, guys? I'm your host, Anthony McLemore, and welcome back to the Centennial Investor. On this channel, I like to talk about side hustles, investing in real estate, stock market investing, and overall ways to make money online. Now, I know my past 10 videos or so have been about stock market investing, and one of the reasons for that is because I have been stuck at home in quarantine, so I've had a lot of time to look at my stock market investments on my computer. Another thing I want to address is that, yes, I am wearing the same jacket as last video, and no, you don't have to make a comment about it. And the reason for that is because I like to record 2 videos on a weekend, so I can have the rest of the week to edit these videos out and get them uploaded on time. But that's not the reason why you clicked on this video. The reason why you clicked on this video is because you wanted to learn more about SWPPX, or you just simply wanted to hear me talk and wanted to spend 10 minutes of your day hearing my voice. Nope. So with that being said, to get right into the video, I think the first thing that we need to talk about is smashing that like button, because if you haven't done that already, it will really help my channel out and help me grow into YouTube algorithm. Enough of the introduction. I know that was way too long. Let's get right into the video. So in the past, I was a little bit of a blogger, and I made a website called CentennialInvestor.com before I made this YouTube channel. And as I was looking back through my old blog posts, I saw this one article about SWPPX that I thought was really valuable, and it took me quite a long time to make and research all the components of the article. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to repurpose this article and make it into a YouTube format to present it to my YouTube audience that I have now, in order to provide the same value to you guys as I did to my blog readers. So right now I'm going to pull up a screen recording of my phone of my blog so you can see exactly what my blog looks like and the article itself. So here we are at CentennialInvestor.com. I'm not going to give you a tour of the blog itself. I'm just going to go right to the article. So we're just going to go to blog, and then we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom until we get to the search. On the search bar, we're just going to type in SWPPX, if I can spell it right, and then it's going to bring up to this post that I wrote about March 3rd. So it was about 2 months ago. So before I go into exactly what SWPPX is, I want to give you a little bit of background of why I'm talking about it in the first place. So first, I want to pull up my Charles Schwab brokerage account, and in this account I have about $19,000 invested, and it's all invested in, guess what, SWPPX. So if I click on my individual brokerage account, you can see I have about 161 shares at $44 a share of SWPPX. If I click on my Roth IRA, I have about $11,300 worth of SWPPX in here. And if you click on my custodial account that I have for my son, I have about 12 shares of SWPPX in that account. Now, if this is your first time visiting the channel, then you may think I'm a little bit too overly invested in this one particular ETF. And to answer that, I would say just watch some of my other videos. I do go into my other investments that I own, and this is simply the majority of my investment portfolio because I feel the most comfortable investing my money at this time in an index fund. So to get right into what SWPPX is, let's go right back over to CentennialInvestor.com and start reading a little bit of this wonderful blog article. So I'm going to skip the introduction and go right into what is SWPPX. So SWPPX is an index fund offered by Charles Schwab that seeks to track the total return of the S&P 500 index. So basically what this means is that by buying a share of SWPPX, you are essentially buying a little small fractional piece of the overall US economy, or the top 500 companies, or the top 500 biggest companies in the United States at this point. So this is a great way to diversify your investments and get a piece of everything if you don't know what specifically to invest in. Now, I know on YouTube a lot of investors invest in individual stocks, and I do myself too, but I am not too cocky to say that I do not know everything. I am not the Warren Buffett of investing. I am just getting started. I am 21 years old, and I feel a lot more confident putting this amount of money in an index fund rather than personal stock picks. So while many people may disagree on index funds investing in general, if you're a little bit more of a risk adverse investor and want some passive income or a passive investment strategy, then index fund is definitely the way to go. I have found great joy in investing in index fund, not having to worry about in particular what my investments are doing on a day-to-day basis. And a quote I like to go back to, as the great Warren Buffett would say, diversification is the greatest hedge against ignorance. I may not have quoted that exactly right, but close enough. So going back to the article, here's a quick preview of the top 10 companies that are in SWPPX, which in turn are about the top 10 companies that are in the United States at this time. So you have Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Berkshire Hathaway, Google, another stock of Google, JP Morgan Chase, Johnson & Johnson, and Visa. So obviously SWPPX tries to track the S&P 500 as best as it can. So I think to do that, it would obviously have to have a share or a percentage of each S&P 500 company in it somewhere in here at some point. But to get to the greatest thing about SWPPX and what drawn me to it personally was its extremely low expense ratio. Now, I've been looking at a lot of index funds because I like to invest in index funds for myself. And every single time I look at a new index fund to invest in, I see the extremely high expense ratio and I just run like a chicken in headlights. I'm going to knock these books over one day. And I almost did. Actually, when I was editing another video, I knocked all of these books over and they fell to the ground, so I had to put them back up. So let me not do that. But going back to fees, when you are investing in index fund, it is important to have a low fee or a low cost, because the higher the fee, the lower the return you will get on your money. So going back to the article I wrote, here are the fees that are associated with SWPPX. You can see under 12B1 fees, they don't have any fees. They also don't have any funds contingent redemption fees. They don't have any swap transaction fees, any max front load fees, any max back load fees. They don't have any short-term redemption fees. And the only fee that's associated with is the gross expense ratio and the net expense ratio, which is exactly the same, of 0.02%. I had a comment on one of my previous videos about my Charles Schwab Roth IRA. I don't know if I can find it now, but I'll try to. If I find it, I'll put it right here. That a Charles Schwab Roth IRA is the second lowest expense ratio index fund that tracks the S&P 500. I think the comment said that the lowest one is Fidelity, but I'm sure about reading the comment, you can see if I'm right or wrong. I might be right, I don't know. But now that we have went over what SWPPX is and the fees are associated with it, let's go a little bit into the pros and cons that I have found with investing in SWPPX personally. So the number one pro, as I said earlier, is the low expense ratio. This allows you to keep more of your money into your portfolio and allows compounding growth to work into your favor even more. And that's the whole point of investing in index funds in the first place, is that you want to have that compound growth and that passive growth without you ever having to lift a finger again. The second pro is that they have over $50 billion in assets under management. So this might be small in comparison to some of the larger index funds, but I feel like this is large enough to where you can feel comfortable investing your money, because your portfolio is going to be such a small stake in the overall index fund or mutual fund to allow you to have faith that the managers will manage the portfolio effectively. The third pro is that it tracks the S&P 500 very efficiently and effectively. The fourth pro is that you have the ability to buy fractional shares. You don't have to buy one share. If you want to invest $1 in SWPPX, you can, just to start off. And that's probably one of the biggest pros. I probably should have put down as number one, that you can invest as little amount of money as you want to into the index fund and still have a stake in the overall United States economy. And the fifth pro about SWPPX is that you don't have any minimum investment requirements. If you want to start a Charles Schwab account and only invest $1 in SWPPX, you can do that just fine. They won't say anything about it. And I think that's one of the best advantages of SWPPX, is that you don't have the high startup fee that some companies have, where you have to invest $1,000 just to get started in the investing game. No, if you want to invest $1 in SWPPX, you absolutely can, and there's no problem with that. However, SWPPX is not all sunshine and rainbows. It does have some cons that you should be aware of before putting your money into it. The first con is that it's not as liquid as an ETF. So what I mean about that is that SWPPX is a mutual fund. The value of the shares is calculated by the net asset value at the end of each day. So you can't trade SWPPX because the value does not update in real time. What happens is that at the end of each trading day, the companies in SWPPX are then valued out, and then the value of the overall stock is adjusted based on the net asset value. So in order for you to buy into SWPPX, you have to place an order in the middle of the day or before the trading day, and it will be executed at the end of the trading day once the asset value is calculated. The second kind of SWPPX is that it has low volatility. But don't get me wrong, right now it is extremely volatile because of the way the US economy is right now. But in general, there is low volatility with SWPPX, as you would expect with an index fund that tracks the overall US economy. And the third con that I found is that even though it has over $50 billion in assets management, it is still relatively small in comparison to some larger mutual funds. So not to drag out the cons, what is my final recommendation of investing in SWPPX? I would say if you want to be a passive investor and you just want to invest some money and allow it time to grow and not really have to actively manage your account on a day-to-day basis, then I would say invest in what you want to invest in. But SWPPX is one of the best options for me. I have found a little bit of success in investing in SWPPX. It may not seem like that because of the way the economy is moving right now, but overall I am way less stressed with having most of my money invested in an index fund rather than a overall individual stock brokerage account. So as I move forward into my investing journey and I get more confident in making smarter investment decisions, I may see myself putting more percentage of my money into individual stocks, but for right now I have about 90% of my money into this index fund. So that's all I have for you today, guys. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions about what I should do for my next video, then leave a comment comment down below. I'll be sure to read and reply to every single one of them. And if you make me laugh, I might even just include it in the next video. So if you like my personality, feel free to follow me on Instagram at AKMacklemore. I post there. I post on my story every now and then. I don't really get over there too much. But if you want to see some cool basketball content, then that is the page for you. So as I say, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe. It really does help my video out, and it helps me grow in the YouTube algorithm, as I am a small channel and I am just trying to provide as valuable content as I can to as many people as possible. And to leave you with this, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, guys, peace. So what is this? I just want to say that I will be talking about the